Welcome to Talkin Down the Highway, a Beach Boys podcast presented by Strange Currency Music. I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Tim.
Hey.
Hey. It has been an uncharacteristically long time since we actually recorded one of these.
Yeah.
We're keeping up with the release schedule.
It has been
We
a
kind of
while.
recorded them in bulk there for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize, but I have been busy
Gallivanting.
on my little summer in paradise.
Oh.
Ugh.
Some tropical
thank you very
location
much.
with palm trees.
Summer in Paris.
Oh, so
Well, you know what?
baguettes.
You didn't miss much here in the
Lots of
States.
Prions.
Oh,
Like,
really?
you didn't miss
right.
one of the most,
Right.
profoundly surreal
Wow.
2 weeks of modern American history or anything like that.
Yeah, ears getting shot off. And
It's no big deal.
Yeah,
Wow,
you know, just
crazy.
business as usual here in the States as you've been going. So.
Wild.
Yep.
Well, we don't want to talk about that because that's no fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
We want to talk about the Champs-Élysées.
yeah. we're really into coconut trees here in the U.S. now. Just to let you know.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What? I don't.
You got to get caught up.
I'll
You've
have to
been
get
out
caught
of,
up.
out
Okay.
of country.
I don't know about that one.
All right. All right. So attempted assassination. Biden drops out. Kamala Harris officially? No, not yet.
Not
Well, she still has to
officially,
get the
yeah,
vote.
she's-
Okay.
The
Alright, but-
convention still needs to happen, but they're all backing her.
Yeah. All right. Good.
As is Talking Down the Highway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Officially coming out
endorsed.
in full endorsement
Kamala Harris,
of Kamala
yes.
Harris.
And I'm kind of hoping for the astronaut, Mark Kelly, to be the VP.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting choices. He would be interesting just because, you know, it would help.
He's an
I would
astronaut.
think.
He's a spaceman.
Yeah, that would be cool, objectively. But
mustache
also,
sometimes.
Arizona was, you know, really, really close last time. So putting in Arizona on the ballot wouldn't hurt. Although the Pennsylvania governor, Shapiro, is you know, could help lock down a very critically important swing
familiar.
state there. So.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, at least it's not Seinfeld or Simpsons.
Oh, we'll get there.
At
I'm
least
sure.
it's not a really bad Beach Boys
Oh,
album.
we will
Hey,
definitely be talking
hey.
about The Simpsons today. But yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to publicly, on the podcast, publicly thank Matt for his input. I was gallivanting in Europe.
Gallivanting.
And when I travel, do you do this, Tim? I don't know. I don't collect souvenirs. I collect vinyl. So when I travel, I like to pick up an iconic record from wherever my travels take me, and so it was fun. We flew to Paris, and so I had to pick up some Francois Hardy. Yep, and then we went to.
Did you ask any
Switzerland.
French people about the proper pronunciation?
I did. The guy corrected me. Like I didn't even ask him. I was like, or what? I forget what it was. He was playing Francois Hardy.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's Francois Hardy. And this other guy from across the record store was like, Francois.
America.
And do
American
they? But they don't really
guitar
pronounce the
yeah.
ha. Hardy,
No,
right?
I
Isn't it
didn't-
like?
Hardy.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I wasn't. I wasn't gonna push it.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
I was just like, take my money. I don't know. But then I went to Switzerland. I was like, what album am I gonna get? You know, in Switzerland, and so I shot Matt a text, and he came back with "Soccer Mommy." It was apparently from
I didn't know that.
Zurich.
I didn't know that until you asked. So I looked up on my rate your music.
I still couldn't figure out how to do
flowchart
that.
thing or
I
whatever.
didn't know how to do. You'll have to teach me that next time I travel. But apparently, nobody in Switzerland knew that either because
Oh, okay.
I hit up a couple record stores and none of them have even ever heard of her. But when I got back to New York on the way back, there's Rough Trade. I missed Rough Trade in London, like the iconic original Rough Trade record store is in London. I missed it. I couldn't get to it, but I hit the one in Times Square.
Yeah, Rem and I went to the Rough. Tried to go to the Rough Trade, like the bigger one in London, and their hours were totally wrong on you know, Google or whatever we were using. We went to the Notting Hill one, which was fun, and a couple pretty cool things there.
Well,
I've never
so I
been to the
went
New
to-
York one because I can't ever find parking, and I don't know why I try
why
to
are you
drive
driving
fucking
in New York? There's
I
your
know.
Pick up some Lou Reed.
So we stayed. Well, no, but and I was gonna do it. They had Wu-Tang, Into the Wu-Tang, but it was like they wanted $45 for it, and I was like no. But then they had Soccer Mommy, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna do
can
it.
we
God,
They
this is
also
Switzerland.
had a really clean copy of Stack of Tracks, which I'd never seen before. Yeah, so I picked it up, and the guy at Rough Trade at the checkout, he's like, "Ah, you gonna do some Beach Boys karaoke?" And I was like, "Yep." And we got talking, and here was the funny thing. I was like, yeah, my buddies and I were going through the catalog. You know, we're doing a podcast. He's like, he lights up. He's like, what's the podcast called? And apparently, he's listening to a Beach Boys podcast right now.
Oh, a different one.
But like, I don't.
But he's not going to listen to ours. So.
Probably not. I don't know. But if he does,
hi,
hey,
dude
from Rough Trade. So.
Well, we do have some people listening. We got a good comment on episode 40, Still Cruising. It's a really long comment.
Oh, I haven't seen this. Where do I have to forward this email to me or something? I don't know. What is this?
Is it from my dad?
No, it's not from your dad, because YouTube is our least utilized. But we've gotten comments on YouTube from Tim's dad and from friend of the podcast Matt McReynolds. But this is from at Shame69. I can read the whole thing, I guess. He says, London Colin, and I don't mean to shout, but I'm utterly loving this podcast coming out.
Hey,
I trust you have noticed that I have followed Beach Boys Law and removed any G at the end of any word ending with ing.
Well done.
Having chanced upon your show a couple of weeks ago, I have binge listened to the lot, and I must admit that it has brought me, your 729th billionth listener, pure joy. The recurrent jokes, yelling "Summer days, it's summer days, noches, sus noches." He didn't say no, sus noches. Asking Al to call you, plus Jardine's trouble with lobsters. Bruce Johnston's planet-sized head, perpetually reminding us of Mike Love's baldness.
Good.
Should we ever forget for a single second that he is the baldest man in the world?
You're welcome.
He is the bald ass. Get me crying with laughter. And I love how the worse the album you're discussing is, the funnier your show. God, please let you go on this way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glenn, Matt, and Tim. Oh yeah, in a very early discussion of one of the earliest albums, Surfing USA, you quoted the sleeve notes wherein Love was described as the fine singer. It is my contention that it should have read fine-haired singer. Anyway.
Oh, like fine.
Yeah.
That was a very long comment.
It is a very long comment, but we loved it. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
We got a couple comments on Instagram, too. Our buddy, by proxy, I guess, Rob Parsons says that they didn't have Full House in the UK, or if they did, he missed out on that. But he thinks that the boys were in an episode of Home Improvement, which I'm not aware of.
What?
So okay.
My dad was all about Home Improvement.
I used to watch it, yeah. We also got a comment from Peter Lynn saying that Jesse and the Rippers video, he compares it to David Brent's video for his cover of If You Don't Know Me By Now from the UK Office, which I am not familiar with. But I can only imagine that it's probably like the exact same like soft focus ridiculousness.
Right.
I'm noticing from a lot of our
that.
commenters, we're big in the UK.
I guess so,
Yeah.
Oh, this guy has
We should have, our UK followers bring us out for a live show or something.
Oh, that'd be great.
Be all about that.
Hey, I will say,
we'd be bringing it out of our socks.
This guy said only one of those videos is an intentional "Never Let Me Down." So there's another reference. So we do have people who are listening. Thanks, people.
Yeah, we love that. And thank you to our listeners. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, and I will say that
729 billion of you.
The best final record shopping I had was in London. It was fantastic. Little Soho area. No less than 5 record stores in a block radius. Like just walk.
Sister Ray is one of those.
Sister
right?
Ray,
Restless.
Sound of Universe, Reckless.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
a great little area.
Yeah,
there.
so good.
Did you find the David Bowie steps from the Ziggy Stardust album cover?
No, I didn't. I didn't have much time. I had like 2 hours, so I was like, I got enough time in each store, and I saved my time at Reckless because it was all those like DOL recordings, like really cheap pressings. So I was like, don't worry about it.
I found some really good stuff at Reckless.
But Sister Ray.
Sister Ray is a great shop.
Dude, it was painful because I limited myself to buying just one. And
you don't have enough space to take all that shit back.
I was like, I cannot. And
I bought one of those tweed bags when we were in Scotland. Full of records, and I'm like lugging this thing through Heathrow, and
so ridiculous.
Heavy as fuck.
Why did we do
I
this?
bought so many records.
I definitely found a cool record store when I went to Amsterdam, but I didn't get anything because, I think
you gotta carry it. Right.
I brought back a coffee mug from Amsterdam. I think that's it. So I packed my suitcase full. I don't want to have a bunch of extra shit. So.
I did. We were doing like the Sherlock Holmes Baker Street thing, and there was a Beatles store right next door, and they had a little ukulele, my yellow submarine ukulele. I had to, so I was carrying that.
You've
and my
got quite a
records and
ukulele
that.
collection going.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's gonna hang in the room with pride of place.
Yeah, this is great. I like this travel podcast we're doing.
Yeah. Well, hey, to our UK listeners, bring us out there, and depending on how this whole election thing goes, we might stay out there. Actually.
I did.
So hook us up with jobs and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of expats, since they didn't have Soccer Mommy in Switzerland, I end up getting that Nina Simone, the Montreux years.
Oh, that's the one with like all the crazy colors and stuff.
Yeah. It's the record store.
I bought that a couple years ago, and I still haven't listened to it. I bought it on the strength of a recommendation from a very good friend of the show, Trevor.
Yeah. And it's been stuck in my head ever since then. And we were out on a boat cruise on the lake in Lucerne, and there's Montreux Casino right there. It's not the Montreux that's on Lake Geneva, but it is there. And I was like, oh! And then I went to the record store, and sure enough, they had Nina Simone right there. I was like,
Excellent.
Yeah,
I should
expats
probably
moving
listen to
to
that.
Switzerland or Paris, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Hey. Yeah. Well, let's take a break. We got work to do this week.
We do.
And we're gonna come back and talk about. Yep. We'll be back. All right, we are back, and this week we are discussing the Beach Boys' 1992 album, Summer in Paradise. Finally, we get
a
to
good one.
Find out at long last what a Brian-less Beach Boys truly can be.
Wow.
And this is going to be, something to see what the Beach Boys truly are with no input at all from Brian.
So
Brian gets a single writing credit on this album, and it's for a song that had been written in 1962 that they decided to, do a 30-year anniversary update of. That is Brian's only contribution to this album.
So no backing vocals, no input in the studio, nothing.
Not in the picture at all. This is a Mike Love joint.
Wow.
Yeah.
That tracks.
At long last.
Yeah. Okay.
At long last.
He's been fighting for this because he's been bogged down by this weight around his neck of Brian Wilson telling him what to do.
Well, yeah.
And his creative freedom
and,
has been hampered.
Well, and as we saw in that
gets
recent video or the documentary, if more people had recognized his contributions, his brilliance, then it would have been good for Brian too.
Yeah, it would have.
So
it would have taken so much pressure off of him.
Now we get to finally see or hear Mike untethered with the boys following him instead of following Brian.
Creative juices flowing.
This has got to be good,
and
right?
even Al Jardine was on suspension.
Yeah, he got left or got fired partway through, and then they brought him back. Yeah, like on probation.
Yeah.
All right. So what's our timing here? What's the?
What do you mean? Like the context?
Like what year is this? Yeah.
Well, 92 is when it comes out. It sounds like it probably took him about 15 minutes to
It was forged in the bowels of hell.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1992.
So we're going to cut to some of the chase here. This album is fucking terrible.
It is awful.
It is terrible. We'll get into how terrible it is in time.
I had to download this album because I was flying on the plane from My Summer in Paradise, and I was listening to a downloaded copy of it, and it was the longest 43 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah.
Of my
Where
life.
did you download it from?
I used the Documents app and just downloaded the YouTube page, and so there's no skipping, so I had to play it.
That's fancy.
Straight through. It was awful.
And you have to.
It was awful.
And look, I've listened to this album no less than 4 times in total. Yeah. I had to listen to it twice because I won't review anything without listening to it twice. So when Rem and I did the catalog crawl, I had to listen to it twice for that. And
You
Glenn,
friggin'
you and
captured me. And
well, yeah,
kidnapped
we
me
went out record storing a few weeks ago, and so we listened to it then.
on the drive. It
And
was
then
brutal.
I listened to it again yesterday. So yeah, I've listened to this album at least 4 times. It's something.
It is awful.
It
A
exists.
little bit of context. Its Rate Your Music rating is 1.02 out of 5.
Is it possible to rate less than 1?
You can rate things 0.5. That's the lowest you can rate something.
Surprised it's not down in that territory.
I think most people who
1.02. I think it might actually be the lowest rated album on Rate Your Music.
I think the people that gave it a 1-star review did not realize that it was an option to give it a 0.5.
Well, but the
there
thing is, if
there
it's
are some
if it's
ironic.
above 1, then that means some people gave it 2 stars.
Yeah, like I'm just scrolling through the front page of reviews here, and somebody gives it a 2, and his headline here of the review, I'm not going to read the whole fucking review, because if you give it a 2, I don't care about your opinion. But it says kitsch music or whatever. So, okay, this guy likes it ironically. And let's see, I'm just looking just on the front page here. Literally, if you go down, like somebody on July 14th, 2024, named Archie Man gave it 3.5 stars.
Come on.
Archie
So
Man.
obviously,
It's no sugar, but
yeah. So this is terrible. When I made my own Rate Your Music review, I gave it a 0.5 star because obviously.
Yes.
And the only thing that I put for the review, usually I put these pretty long, what I think are thoughtful reviews. All I put was There Is No God, the album. And Rate Your Music, after a day or two, like pulled it down. And it said that it didn't have enough substance. Like that
neither does the album.
Which is why it's not available.
It basically said like that's something that would have worked as a comment, but not as a review.
Okay.
And I normally I would have liked to have fought this and petitioned, be like, look, I've got thousands of reviews out there on the site. Let me have this one. Anyway, I ended up having to write an actual review of it just because I could
I need
not
to go
have
look that
one
up.
there. But yeah, originally my review was There Is No God, the album. Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's fucking awful.
It is evidence. It is evidence that the '80s did not end until at least '93.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah.
What did you say? This was 92, 93?
92. One of the things that's really important to know about this album is it is the longest Beach Boys album, because of course it is.
Of course it
Yep.
is.
Well,
it is.
It doesn't
I mean-
just feel like the longest, it is literally the
And
longest
some
Beach
of the
Boys album.
songs are very, like, just, why is it so long?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Speaking of length, when I listened to it yesterday, because again, for context, this album is not available on Spotify.
Right. Yep.
This was already alluded to. You have to listen to it on YouTube, basically. And when I
You
started...
you can't buy it like cheap at a record store
Oh,
for
God,
like
no.
$2.
No, like the CD is $100.
Yeah,
because it was
only
so
released-
fucking rare.
It was only released on CD and cassette in the U.S., and they only, you said it earlier off mic, they have sold 1,000 copies.
It apparently sold less than 1,000 copies, according to some reports. Like, it didn't chart.
Didn't chart at all.
At all.
They had to like give it away on QVC.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a part of a bundle.
Yeah, with a later
box set.
best of compilation or something.
How many did they press then?
Who knows? It does have one vinyl pressing. It was like a South Korean bootleg, and they go for like a couple $1,000 on Discogs.
There's one available on Discogs right now for $3,700.
$3,700. I will not be completing my Beach Boys collection, unfortunately. Yeah. No, like so. Again, you can't find it on Spotify. They have effectively, like, written it out of their history. So you have to listen to it on YouTube. When I went to listen to it yesterday, I was driving. I was like out, running errands and shit. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to it a 4th time and make some mental notes, and I use my notes app and had to like hit the little record, dictated some notes while I was listening. I didn't realize until it got into the 3rd song that I had it on 1.25 speed.
just to loosen the pain.
Well, so I like every day when I go for my walks, I listen to a podcast, a hockey podcast, and I listen to it on 1.25 speed. And I just hadn't I had forgotten, for whatever reason, when I queued up this video, that it was still on 1.25. So I will let you know, at 1.25 speed, it's faster, and it's still terrible.
Well,
It's
now
still
you have
terrible.
to listen to it at 0.8 speed just to
this
fairness.
reminds
No,
me.
because then it'd be like 50 minutes long.
Right.
So,
Remind me
no.
of this when we start talking about Summer of Love, because I got a somewhat related thing.
Okay.
dear.
Oh, jeez. Well, that was the song where it's like, oh, wait a minute. This is way too fast. Like, yeah.
Because the famous.
And I think that might be part of the pain is that you have to listen to it on what's not on your normal listening experience. You can't skip through something. You have to be like, actually, it can't just dissolve into the background. You have to.
YouTube. I don't know about your downloaded version, but the YouTube one that I found did have like links to each song, so you could skip ahead. It was like in chapters.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a playlist, I think. Yeah.
This one was just one video
done
that
I
had
would've
chapter separations.
I would have skipped through this whole album, and that wouldn't have been fair. So, are you saying that they do not have it on streaming or anything? Are you saying that Mike Love has admitted that this is a crap album?
I mean, it was a Capitol Records decision, I think, to not include it in the reissue kind of thing they did. But
but isn't
I
Mike
don't know what the
Love
ownership
basically
is.
an indie artist at this point? Like, doesn't he book his own? Like, can't he make his own?
he could probably put it out.
I mean, it's like Mike Love and the Beach Boys at this point, right?
But I don't know. Yeah. I mean, obviously it didn't sell, and his whole thing is like, we got to give the people what they want, sing about surfing.
Well, yeah.
And he was clearly wrong in this case.
Well, so there's 3 in a row then that are just, written out of their catalog. Still Cruising, which we covered last time. And then the next one that we're going to cover, Stars and Stripes, Volume 1.
Which is available on streaming.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Stars
I
and
have it
Stripes?
on Apple Music. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is it not on Spotify?
I don't remember it being on Spotify.
I'll check Amazon, but
Yeah, I have it. I have it downloaded.
All right. Oh, we'll get there next
I
week.
listened to that one on the plane too.
Yeah, we'll save any conversation for that.
All right.
Do we have anything else in terms of context before we get into the songs themselves?
I also downloaded the Wikipedia
I
page. I should download the Wikipedia page now. Wasn't this the first Beach Boys album on recorded all on Pro Tools?
this is one of the first albums.
Yeah, period.
To be recorded
One of the
on Pro
first.
Tools. It was with a beta version.
That tracks.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, it feels very. Yeah.
Yeah, Van Dyke
Artificial.
Parks. Van Dyke Parks makes an appearance playing accordion on the title track. Yeah, it's all shit. Just the part where Mike Love, Melcher were the main composers, with Johnston being the only other member to contribute a new song. Jardine had allegedly been suspended from the band prior to the album's recording, supposedly because of a dispute about content. But he came back, and apparently there was a UK version of this album with some re-recorded vocals. Ooh. And he contributed to that, to those. Roger McGuinn made
The Byrds.
The Byrds made a guest appearance on one of them too.
Well, there is one song where it sounds like there's actually maybe a 12-string being played there. Is that what McGuinn's contributing? Because that's sort of his signature.
Just the UK versions have McGuinn. I think he only contributes lead vocals for one verse of a song.
Okay.
Summer in Paradise. So that's interesting. I didn't bother to dig and find that version and listen to it.
Yeah.
See, I should have spent more time on this Wikipedia page. I would have recognized. So how many are original songs? We've got that.
Most of them. I mean, there's
Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah,
song.
there's a cover of Hot Fun in the Summertime.
There's three. There's 3 covers.
Surfing. They covered
And then
Brian
there's
Wilson
2 redos. So
I mean, but then Under the Boardwalk is like kind of a
Walking in the
kind
Sand
of
under the
half
boardwalk.
cover because they changed the lyrics, I guess. But yeah,
Forever is a cover of that Brian Wilson or that
Dennis Wilson song. Yeah,
it's 5 covers, 6 originals. Okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's it.
Oh dear.
all right. Well, hey, let's take a break and let's come back and talk about this thing track by track.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're back to talk about each individual track
I mean, we don't have to.
of Summer in Paradise. No, we have to. I took notes on the plane, extensively. Well, maybe
I
not
took notes on the first 3, and then I just have and then I have 3 paragraphs about Baywatch.
just angry ranting.
No, not angry. We'll get to it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well.
So track 1, you drop this. Well, if you're one of the 1,000 people who bought this, you put on track 1. I don't know if you start the YouTube video or something. Then Hot Fun in the Summertime comes on. And right away, I'm hit in the face with that little dauber voice.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs have that. Yeah.
That is not a good start to this album.
Speaking of hit in the face, I only have one note on this. Hot Fun, more like Hot Carl.
Ooh. I wrote down that the shotgun drum is so tacky and processed that's what got me, looking up the whole Pro Tools thing.
Yeah.
The other note I wrote, what is it with Mike and saxophones? Why does he seem to think they're cool? I mean, Coltrane is cool, and so is Lisa Simpson, I guess. There's your Simpson reference.
There's one.
But this sax is so corny in this. It's brutal.
I don't even remember. I did not commit this album to memory.
Well, it's got that bass line in it that I could not place.
That's
and
right.
I was just like, I know this bass line. Like I've jammed on this or something, and but I didn't have internet when I was listening to it. So it turns out, thank you all in the off mic. It's
Fool in the Rain.
Yeah, Fool in the Rain
by Led Zeppelin. Essentially, but then.
But
when
it
was the
exists
Sly and the Family Stone?
Sly and the Stone version, just not as pronounced.
That was probably what, early 70s or late? When would that have been?
60s, I think.
Late
for
60s,
Hot
okay.
Fun in the Summertime.
So Fool in the Rain was 79. So
But I think that's why it irked me so bad, because I had that Fool in the Rain in my head, where it's kind of like it's swung a little bit. It's got like a shuffle on it. And this Hot Fun in the Summertime is so straight and so like soulless that it just emphasized for me how this is not a good start. Yeah.
It's awful.
Okay, next one is Surfing.
So I wrote OMG. Who thought surfing needed to be updated / brought into the 80s?
Well,
in 1993.
The album's about a summer in paradise, and in the summertime you go surfing. And hey, we've got a song about surfing. We've got lots of songs about surfing, but this was the first one.
I have a theory.
It was 30 years past the original.
It was 30 years
so
past.
Maybe it was a special occasion.
I have another theory.
My theory is Mike Love eats dogfish.
Okay, there you go.
Prove us wrong, Mike.
Secondary theory. 93, was this Mike Love trying to get in on the whole internet craze? Like surfing the net?
No. First off, it's 92, and no, it would have been too early, certainly for Mike Love.
That made sense to me.
I don't think that even would have been really like part of the vernacular yet at that point.
Well, that sounds like something.
Why do you
Mike
keep
Love
hitting
would
the
do.
tambourine?
I'm putting my water. I'm trying to hydrate here.
Yeah. My note on this one was it now actually fully sounds like a band that has absolutely zero surfers in it.
Yeah.
My notes for these first two are just the word awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
They're awful. And yet, folks, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, it is.
It somehow finds a way to get even worse. Summer of Love.
Summer of Love.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I think of the title "Summer of Love," what pops into my head is the song "Some of Your Love."
Yeah. Which has a similar hook, kind of in the background.
I think so. I don't know. It's a better song than this.
Okay, it's a better song than this.
Yeah.
Here's my note.
Yeah.
Here it is, the Nadir, not for the Beach Boys, but for music.
Wow.
Everything is a better song than this.
Wow.
Yeah, this has more dauber vocals.
Yeah.
The really fun fact.
You're always ready.
Yeah, that flanger on the vocals.
It sounds like I feel like I bring up the Zappa comparison way too much, but it sounds like a song called "I'm the Slime," where he's just kind of like.
Maybe this is why I don't listen to much Zappa.
I mean, but it's I don't know. It's hard to describe. But the fun fact is that this was supposed to be a Bart Simpson collab.
Yeah, it was.
What?
It was like a sequel to Do the Bartman. This is what the plan was going to be. And then Fox is like, nah. Even we realize that this is a terrible, terrible idea.
It's just comically bad.
It really is.
It is.
But
the record scratches and like
Because it's a love
It's a
thing.
love-
but you have not experienced it until you pull up the video.
Yeah, yeah.
oh man.
So this
the
song was
video,
featured
yeah.
in an episode of Baywatch.
Oh,
and
wait
the
a minute.
thing
It sounds
is-
like it's time for an episode of Sound of Vision.
Really?
That's right. It's time for Sound of Vision, where we discuss all things aesthetic using the scale provided to us by David Bowie. Glenn, if we really like something, we call it a
Low.
That's right, low. David Bowie's masterpiece. Tim, if we don't like something, we call it a
Never Let Me Down.
Never Let Me Down, which David Bowie definitely let us down.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. And, this comfortable middle ground.
Yeah,
Let's dance.
let's dance.
All right. We got two things visually that we want to rate here. First off, obviously, we'll get to it, the album cover.
Yeah.
But, of course, there's this video.
There's the
Uh,
aesthetic.
This
the Beach Boys aesthetic
amazing
of
video, which was
1992.
actually made
Yeah.
a couple years after.
Well, it came out. So the episode was in 1995.
Yeah.
And this was actually the title sequence of the episode after the main theme song title sequence.
Okay.
I watched the whole episode.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't even think to do that.
All the trailing credits after like the main cast is over the top of this video. That's why it says like written by this guy, directed by this guy, special guest star Mike Love, Al Jardine. And it's completely out of context. You start up this episode of Baywatch and you're like, that great theme song that everybody loves, and then this, and then you're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just like on the beach with a bunch of Baywatch people, but none of the actual actors, just like extras. And then the episode starts, and then the Beach Boys are kind of like folded into the episode, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, so this video,
aesthetically.
at this point, Brian is back in the fold
Yeah,
because
emo
he's there.
Brian.
Yeah, he's like dressed in all black.
So is Carl. Carl's all emo too here.
Yeah.
And neither of them are in the actual episode, by the way. But yeah, the opening shot of the video is them sort of on the beach. It kind of zooms out to reveal everybody. Brian's in a director's chair playing bass while seated. Carl looks like he's kind of, I don't know, swaying. Al's got a ponytail. Stamos is playing an electronic drum kit
yeah.
with no amplification
Yeah.
and with real cymbals for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's some other unknown doofuses filling out the band. Bruce is there with his weird hair. It's it's awesome. I mean, it's low, clearly. There's a
it's
shot.
just gross.
Brian, as far as I can tell, is in like 3 or 4 shots in the whole thing. He's in that first shot. The next one, it cuts to him like leaning against one of the Baywatch trucks with his arms crossed, and
Yeah.
his leather jacket. And there's a very brief shot of him where he's clearly like in the middle of eating because he's like chewing. You don't see him put it in his mouth, but it's like cut to Mike Love lip syncing, and Brian's next to him, like looking around like, oh, are we gone? And then he starts like clapping while he's chewing food.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're trying to give this a low. Here's my hot take.
He's being ironic.
Well, exactly.
it
That's my
depends.
point.
It's context dependent.
Here's my hot take. Is this song so bad that it's good?
No.
Because it's so painful, but it's sort of catchy.
The video elevates it a little bit because it's such a weird spectacle.
Summer of love.
Like if you just listen to the song, you're like, "What the fuck is this?" But you see the video, and you can appreciate the camp value because Baywatch has camp value. The Beach
there's a
Boys
lot of
have camp value.
right.
There's like this interesting like kind of marriage happening there that I think is
And-
Because
cool.
but
it's
like-
a love thing.
But then when Mike starts to rap, and it's like this old white dude,
Right.
like in 1992, trying to.
And he's so pervy.
He
in the
is
video.
so creepy pervy. And here's the other thing. I don't think someone could make a worse song if they tried. Like, that's the thing about this song. It's so bad. And I think it's almost because, like, they weren't trying to make it bad. They were trying to do their best, and it's bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
And so
it's not surprising though at this point. Like their best is bad.
Yeah, I just feel like I could see myself listening to this and laughing and and enjoying my existence. Isn't that what music's supposed to do? I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, I could see that, I guess. But again, I think the visual element is important for that because, I I don't know if my whole Baywatch spiel has to happen right now, but I love Baywatch. All right,
Okay.
there's a 24-hour Baywatch channel on Pluto. You know,
Wow.
Like, it's built into my TV, so I'll come home, I'll just flip it on, and like it's the middle of a Baywatch episode. It's great. It's like watching TV in the old days. You know, you just turn it on.
Just what happens
in
to
the
be on.
middle of the episode.
It's like Law and Order.
One time
late at night.
the pilot episode was it was a TV movie was on. I didn't realize that's what it was, but it was like the last hour of that, and all this crazy shit happens. A boat explodes, people die. Some guy who's like some legendary old lifeguard drowns, and the whole end of the episode is this really earnest like funeral sequence.
Wow.
On the water. Matt Chinamik from Twin Peaks is earlier in the episode as some
Really?
kind of like psycho murderer kind of person. It's very good. The show is underrated in general. But
I had no idea you had a secret affinity for Baywatch.
Oh, it's no secret.
No longer.
And the thing is, like the even the bad stuff is just so hilarious. Like there was an episode I saw where it's like Hobie and somebody else are trapped in a cave with this giant evil electric eel attacking them. So they're like up on a little rock hiding from the eel, and it's this like kind of like puppet creature that they made for the show. And Mitch comes to save them by swimming in with a defibrillator. And he somehow, like, I think he's in the water while doing this, shocks the eel, gives it a taste of its own medicine, and kills it and saves the day.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
This is Baywatch.
Das ist sehr gut.
Oh, and as far as the rating, like I wouldn't really give it a low. I don't think, probably a Let's Dance. But what I will give a low is so the whole series is streaming on Tubi for free.
Okay.
But the first place I found was Dailymotion, of this episode on Dailymotion. And to avoid copyright stuff, they flipped the image and slowed everything down by like 1/4. So imagine that, the theme song. And then
That's really trendy right now. Like a lot of artists are
right.
putting out their, super slow,
But
super
just
fast.
imagine this horrible video for this song backwards and slowed down, and that's kind of a weird, trippy experience. So I'll give that a low.
That's a Twin Peaks there.
Speaking of like variable speeds of things, like we were talking about before.
Wow.
All right. Well, I refuse to play along with that. It's gross.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
It is.
gross.
It's bad.
It's
Bad,
never
bad,
let me
bad,
down.
bad,
We got to get into the album cover.
So
because we're still in sound and vision here, and we're almost 40 minutes in, like 38 minutes
wow.
into this
Okay.
episode. So, okay, album cover. Is this by that Weiland guy?
well, I'm looking it up.
My parents were really into Weiland.
I want to
the
see
guy
if this
who
is
did
the
these
same
whale-
guy that did Keeping the Summer Alive. I'm not sure if it is. So the guy who did this one is what the hell?
Sorry, I clicked on the YouTube thing to see the album cover.
No, Robert Lynn Nelson did this one.
Oh, all right.
It has similar vibes to Keeping the Summer Alive. I'm not sure if it's the same guy, but I like.
I like it. I like the image. It's
I
great.
give it a
It's
low. I mean, if you look going on Discogs and see all the artwork that came with the CD and like the back cover and stuff, it's great. It's way better than the album itself.
Yeah,
I was hoping it was going to be just whale songs. I'd rather the whole album just be whale songs.
Yeah.
It's got Mike's bald head logo.
Yeah, it does.
But I kind of like it. It's kind
It's
of
fine.
mystical. It's whatever.
I'd go Let's Dance. I mean, I think it is hurt by association. It's also so early 90s.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of like the side of a van, but I like it.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Whatever. Let's dance.
I'm okay with it. It's fine. All right, good episode, I guess. Although that's probably our longest episode of Sound and Vision. But
Good episode. So now we can talk about the plot of the episode of Baywatch that featured the Beach Boys.
Wow.
So Mitch apparently knew them as a child.
Are we really
we're at 39 and a half minutes. So
knew the Beach Boys?
Well, I don't have any other notes on this album.
I do. So the next track after
So the
Summer
scene,
of Love.
they actually have a dialogue scene. Al, Mike, and Bruce, and it's just 1,000 times better than Full House. It's still very bad.
Wow.
They play a benefit concert at the end, and they save the beach from being poisoned by this horrible drainage system that is poisoning people.
Well, we'll have to do corrections and revisions because I found the Home Improvement episode that the Beach Boys
you
were on.
did?
Yeah, the Karate Kid Returns, apparently.
What?
Is what
Okay,
the episode is.
we're gonna have to address that in the next episode. We'll fold it in with
We'll do something.
with Stars and Stripes.
Okay, so
Volume
the next track is Island Fever. And this is Kokomo Volume 2.
Yeah, there are a few attempts to basically try to recapture Kokomo here.
And so Nina Simone did Fever, right? You give me fever.
That's an old song.
Right, old song. That's
A lot of people did that one.
okay. All right. Well, that's how you do it. Well,
this is a totally different song.
Is a little. I understand. This is a little too on the nose, using that whole metaphor of fever, of like illness and love.
Well, my note here is I think he might be describing chlamydia.
So I literally wrote that. I said there were moments where I was like, are they singing about island fever like it's an STD?
Yeah.
She caught it from a brochure.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, it's bad.
Yeah.
You do not compare fever and love to a sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah.
So one of the songs they sing on Baywatch is "Don't Worry, Baby," but for some reason, like the conga player is singing it, and the other guys are just doing backups. It's really weird.
You're just gonna pepper in some.
But it was a special song for
Baywatch.
Stephanie and her ex-husband. It was their song, and he requested it for her, and that's why they played it at the very end.
Stephanie's. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was thinking Full House.
Oh, no.
Different Stephanie. All right.
Yeah, they married her off at like
dear.
11. It was weird. All right. Still Surfing is next.
They're still surfing?
Yeah, still.
They were just surfing a minute ago.
Yeah.
Weird.
They got stamina. My note here is best song so far. It's terrible. Yeah. And then I also have a note to myself to read the lyrics. So I pulled those up. But you guys go ahead. I'll pull out some chestnuts here. But go ahead, Glenn.
So
you got notes here.
I said, oh no, it's not Mike telling a nostalgic story about a dude with a nickname. Surfin' Joe, I think is what he called.
Yep, Surfer Joe.
Oh. I said, also, they're really leaning into that whole "we're old, but we still got it" narrative. Spoiler, if anyone has to stay, they still got it. They don't.
Yeah.
At this point on my airplane listen, I had to ask myself, is this almost over yet? Damn, this is a long album.
I have no memory of
And
this
we're on track 5 of 12.
Right.
I have no memory of this song. The lyrics.
There's all these references to senoritas and mamacitas and stuff. And it's like, just stop, Mike. Just stop. Yeah. I don't know. Awesome. Yeah, there's like this, they're trying to create this like powerful narrative, I think, almost like in here. And he's like talking about the guy wanted to go to Hawaii. It was his college dream, and something about he never did anything with his law degree. Yeah, he doesn't do whole lot with his law degree. They thought about a major oceanography. That doesn't even make sense.
A major in oceanography?
It just says major oceanography. I mean, Mike Love didn't go to college, so I don't know if he knows how majors work or how that phrasing works. In fact, we're pretty sure that Mike didn't graduate high school. Mm-hmm. Prove us wrong, Mike.
Yep.
But he does a lot of thinking about how to save the sea. And then there's a little backing thing that says, "That's where the waves are." I don't know what the melody is.
That's where the waves are?
Yeah. When I heard it yesterday, I thought it said, "That's where the whales are," but waves. Okay. That's where the waves are.
I mean, both would be stupid. That's very stupid.
Yeah, this is just stupid.
So they also work other classic songs into the episode. There's a side plot with Neely and Cody where she has a flashback sequence to being a little girl and falling in love with the lifeguard. They play Surfer Girl during that.
Oh, nice.
And then there's basically a whole music video for California Girls later, but it's like a fantasy sequence of Cody where it's just all these like bikini babes taking off their robes. They're both very creepy sequences.
Sounds like it.
Would you
all
say
right, well, hey, hold on. No. We got to keep moving on here. Let's get to the end of side one here with Slow Summer Dancin'. Also, in parentheses, One Summer Night.
Wait,
Ted Danson?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I have Strange Things Happen.
No, that's the first one on what we'll call side 2.
See, I was trying to
Side
speed
2 of the
things
cassette.
up. That was so. I wrote normally I look forward to Beach Boy ballads. They seem to be harder. They seem to be harder to screw up. Yeah.
This is the Bruce song. And
so
you can tell
laborious.
it's so Bruce. It's so stupid. That saxophone solo is hideous.
It makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. Yeah. It's so cheesy.
Yeah.
It just,
I have no memory of it.
These guys were, at this point, what had they been? Probably early 50s?
I don't know.
Who cares?
But
I'm just trying to. I mean, they're still several years older than we are right now. But they sound like they should be 65 at this point. They're just so like clinging on to this sliver of their youth. Like Mike is clinging on to that last little bit of hair. It's just so pathetic and desperate.
Yeah. And it's just like...
It's just awful.
A ballad at this point, it's already been like 27 hours, this album. Yeah. And it's like... I wrote, damn you, Bruce Johnston. Damn you to hell.
Yeah.
That was while I was listening to the sax solo.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad, and I was like, maybe that's too harsh. I mean, the song isn't that awful.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
But it is.
But that sax solo is,
and it's
idiots.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk about side 2.
Here.
All right.
Okay, we're talking about some bullshit. The second side of this thing starts with Strange Things Happen, is that correct?
Strange things happen.
My only note is that I thought the line was, every time I touch my face, strange things happen. Like, what is this, some kind of weird drug song where he's like so, out of his mind? He's like, oh, I'm seeing colors, or I'm numb. But it's
he said, every time I touch my woman,
my baby,
strange things happen.
It's baby.
Don't touch your woman. No, it's my baby and then my woman.
Oh, okay.
Don't touch your woman. She's not your woman.
I was going to say, maybe she's not your woman.
Yeah, the objectification of women on this
bad.
album is so, like, hyper drive. It's so bad.
I hope strange things happen.
Oh, my other note is this song is inconceivably long. Like, this particular song.
4 minutes and 43 seconds.
Why is it still... They're just
Longest
singing the
one on the
same
album.
thing over and over and over.
Yeah, I wish it said touching my face. That's better.
That is better.
Yeah. Plus, it reminds me of the Gold Heart Mountaintop Queen Directory by Guided by Voices.
Oh, what is the line there?
Cold hands touching my face. Don't hide.
The snake can see you. Oh, gosh, that's scary.
God, I love that song.
The other thing that bugged me about this song, I think he said Copacabana.
Okay. Right. I have 2 notes, really, on this one. Carl, you're better than this. Mike, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wrote, don't touch your woman. That's gross.
Yeah.
Also, she's not your woman, and I hope strange things happen, as they should, you sick, disgusting man. Mike Love, villain, what a creep.
Hey, it sounds like it's time for an episode of Heroes and Villains. All right, Heroes and Villains. We're discussing Heroes and Villains of everything that we've been talking about. Hero?
Brian, for not
Brian.
being
He had
involved.
nothing to do with it. So, of course, he's the hero.
Away.
The villain?
Mike Love, freaking creep.
Mike Love, obviously.
Another hero, Mitch Buchanan.
Sure.
Baywatch.
Mitch. Okay, Hobie.
Hobie.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even know what these people are.
Hasselhoff,
Just
in
stop
general.
it. Just stop. Okay. Good episode.
Sehr gut.
Oh,
Okay.
villain, Neely. Neely is the worst.
Okay, so Summer of Love is the worst thing here. This next one is pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't even have the rest of
Remember
it.
Walking in the Sand.
It's their version of the
yeah.
Shangri-La's classic, Remember Walking in the Sand.
This is just offensive.
It is so offensive on so many different levels.
And, it's a great song. Stop it with the saxophone. Why did you have to do this?
They should have called it.
It's not even just a saxophone, but it's got that carnival nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
This
remember
song
that.
did not deserve this.
It's like a frog organ
They
thing.
should have called it Remember Walking in the Sand? Well, we're going to just fuck it all up for you.
It's got this remember thing in there.
I wrote the remember vocals are giving rockapella and not in a good way.
Remember?
Rockapella.
Remember that good song? Well, this ain't it.
Yeah, I said I'm surprised Mary Weiss survived as long as she did after this this horrible version of her song. She actually just passed away early this year, but rip Mary. Sang my favorite song of all time, Out in the Streets. But yeah, this is fucking miserable. This is the anti Out in the Streets. That I still argue is the best song. This is the second worst song, only slightly better than Summer of Love. Yeah. Although at least Summer of Love has some entertainment value. This just massacres a great song.
It makes me angry.
And it's worse than the eventual TikTokification of this song, the stupid sped up.
Oh, right.
Like, I fucking hate that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking terrible.
Track 9, Lahaina Aloha. Hey, guys, I have an idea for an 80s sitcom. It's about a couple of big city divorcees who leave their jobs in the city to run a sailboat rental outfit.
That sounds good.
On some generic Hawaiian island.
It's only like a couple of them.
This song is not bad if it's the theme song for that sitcom.
Interesting.
The verse has the meet cute and everything, fine. But this is America's band. They have no business writing sitcom songs. Stop it.
As I mentioned yesterday, I was driving when I was doing this, so I was having the dictation thing take my notes, and I didn't know what the song was called, so I just said Hawaiian bullshit song, and I said I don't know what's most offensive about this one: the exoticism, the objectification of women, or that guitar tone. Yeah. This one has the highest rating on Rate Your Music. Ready?
Really?
Predictions?
1.5.
1.8.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Raising the tide.
Fucking classic.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
I also wrote, "God, is this album over yet?" Yeah.
No. All right. Next one.
Oh dear. Okay. Track 10 is Under the Boardwalk.
I have, you know what they say, deaths always happen in threes. So they killed Hot Fun in the Summertime. Yeah. They killed Remember, and now they killed Under the Boardwalk.
Did the original say, I want to take your girl under the boardwalk?
I think, maybe, but most of the lyrics are new for this version.
Because...
Yeah, they even took out the good hook of the songs, too. Like the good hooks of the songs.
Because I was like, I heard it, I was like, I'm going to take your girl under the boardwalk. What the hell?
Yeah, that's weird.
Why did they have to make it creepy? Friggin' consent, you bastard. Yeah. More sax.
Mike is just a creepy person.
Oh, I also, I just realized why I don't like the sax. It sounds so smarmy and just rapey.
Really? The sax does.
It sounds rapey.
Interesting.
It's like Mike Love is going to cue a sax solo.
Sounds rapey.
And then he's going to slip a roofie in your drink.
It's non-consensual sex.
And hey! Non-consensual sax. That's exactly what this is.
Wow.
That's why I don't like it. There it is.
That is a pretty damn good... that was good, Tim.
Hashtag non-consensual sax.
All right. So I was thinking about this in comparison to the original Under the Boardwalk, right? Drifters creates this atmosphere, right? And you're like, all right, it's this summery, vibey kind of song. It's really it's great. It creates atmosphere. And then I got thinking this song does the opposite of that, and is the creation of a negative atmosphere possible by music? Can a song be inserted into a situation, and all of a sudden any kind of vibe that situation has would be just sucked away into a vacuum. Yeah. Exactly. And I think this song would do that. Yeah. It's fucking awful.
That's about right.
So maybe this is the one you play to get the people out of your house at the end of a party.
Okay. Well, next time you guys are over, it's getting a little little late. This is coming on then. Take the cue. Come on. No, we are the people who chose. Was it right at midnight that we rang in the New Year, Tim, with Trout Mass Replica?
Probably, yeah. Well, I just remember like
Sadists.
having the TV on, and it looked like Bruno Mars or whatever was singing like Ant-Man B. That was good times. Yeah.
Well, we got the title track coming up, though.
No wonder this has been such a fucking weird year, Tim. We cursed it
That's
by
true.
ringing it in with Trout Mask replica.
Oh well.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Summer in
track 11,
Paradise.
Sarah. Summer in Paradise.
Title track. So they performed this on Baywatch, and there's a sax solo, and surprisingly, Mike Love does not play it. I think there's a sax solo on this one.
It's not.
Yeah, there's some other guy playing the saxophone.
Wow.
Oh, shocking.
Very, very weird.
Yeah.
How diplomatic of Mike.
That's right.
I was able to pay close attention to the lyrics on
Yeah.
this song, and I learned. I wrote down. I jotted some things that I learned. This song actually taught me some things. First of all, I learned apparently summer is a state of mind.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I also learned that.
Did you learn that it's 5 o'clock somewhere?
I didn't write that one down. Was that in here? I learned that surfers recycle. Apparently, surfers recycle.
Okay.
I also wrote down. I learned that Mike Love's Beach Boys are cool and heterosexual.
Oh.
Remember all those songs about girls like Rhonda and Barbara Ann? Yeah, those were real women and totally not ones we made up. Because women like Mike Love's Beach Boys because they're cool and heterosexual.
Okay.
I also learned that we're on the eve of destruction.
Oh.
That was another
Well, yeah. So this is where one of the handful of places where they're trying to put in like these environmental messages and social messaging and shit. And my note here is "Shut up, Chud." And then later in the song, he literally says, "Too much greed." And my note here is serious, Mike. Shut the fuck up.
The irony. Wasn't this supposed to be like an environmental awareness?
How ironic that they had to just
Right.
like unload who knows how many copies into a fucking landfill.
Wax into it? Yeah.
Along with the Atari ET game. Yeah, just paved them all over.
Yeah, there's like a whole landfill just devoted to this fucking album. Thanks for saving the environment, Mike.
Too much consumption.
Fucking
That was
idiot.
like an actual lyric.
Yep.
Too much consumption. Oh dear.
Fucking
Oh, I listened
tool.
to Surf's Up on the way over here, so don't go near the water.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Baywatch episode featuring the Beach Boys is called Surf's Up.
Oh, all right.
It's season 6, episode 4. If anyone wants to watch it.
I do, yeah. Okay. All right. So then we have Forever.
So
This is the same exact version that was on the Full House.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, same exact one.
And it describes the length of the album.
Yep.
Interestingly enough.
Hey.
I said better with the video with the kids with the giant
you go.
heads.
Yeah, I wrote down that I didn't mind listening to this song because I knew it was the last song of the album. I was able to just close my eyes and imagine 2 small children floating in the clouds. So peaceful.
All right. So I was the other day, revisiting
I was
this.
telling an anecdote.
Well, I am, yeah. For whatever reason, I decided I wanted to revisit our first episode just because I was like, all right, we're kind of into the end game. I'm going to figure out how we're going to wrap this thing up and all that. And we had a conversation in there about the existence of Mike Love defenders.
Yeah.
And the fact that there are these people out there who say, he was instrumental, he was critical in the development of this band, and people don't give him, enough credit.
Sure. Whatever.
My note here is, well, fuckers, here's your Beach Boys album.
Take it.
It's time to rate this thing.
No question. No question. It's Mike Love.
It is the definition of a Mike Love.
It is
a Mike Love. It is
100%.
It is the worst album I have ever heard in my life.
Wow.
It is the worst album I have ever heard in my life, and it completes a circle because this band also made the best album I've ever heard in my entire life, which, why not? Because we've already discussed this is the weirdest fucking band ever. It makes perfect sense that they would make both the best and the worst album ever.
I don't think you could make a worse album if you tried.
I'll give it a mic for sure.
Fucking terrible.
it's Mike.
Worst thing ever. Good God. So bad.
Solid episode. Wow.
Jesus. All right.
Do we need to take a break?
Let's take a break and we'll come back to wrap this whole thing up. All right. right, we are here to wrap it all up.
Hey, it's only going up from here, guys.
Yes, I can promise you that it does go up from here. Temper those expectations.
Right. Okay.
You have, Glenn, you've listened to the next one.
Yeehaw.
I have
Yeah.
not.
Oh, yeah. What better way to become relevant in the mid-90s than to try to just cruise on the coattails of Garth Brooks? Oh my God. Even though they couldn't get Garth Brooks.
No.
Yeah.
Toby Keith, though.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
really? Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Pre-boot up your ass, Toby Keith.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
This is unrelated. I just want to wish everyone a happy belated Ding Dang Day.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about that.
Ding
Yeah.
dang, if
You got
have
the
not.
mug, right?
I got the mug.
Nice.
Yeah.
From my
Dang.
friend Brian Wilson,
Yep.
who apparently lives in Texas.
Long, tall Texan.
According to the return address.
Yeah.
Famous Texan Brian Wilson.
Cheers.
Well, happy Ding Dang Day,
Happy Ding
everybody.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we will catch you next week
Enjoy
when we talk
your
about
summer. Yeah.
Stars and Stripes. It does get better, technically.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you then.
Later.
Bye.